Welcome back, Patriots, to the Bald Brad Show. It is Tuesday, May 22nd. And as always, Joe Biden is still, by far, not even close, the worst president in American history. Patriots, it's great being back with you on this fine Tuesday morning. And we're starting off the show doing something different. We're going to play a game called, What the Hell is Joe Biden Trying to Say? Joe Biden's giving a speech here. He's reading off his teleprompter and fumbles through his words once again. It's the most insane statistic in all of politics that Joe Biden dukes it out with his teleprompter each and every day. And the teleprompter is going on undefeated for 4 years now. This is the closer of his speech. We're going to listen to it. It's the most important part. This is what you want your audience members to walk away with and go tell their friends and family. It's what's supposed to be truthful. It's supposed to sit there and make a lasting impact on you. Something you take to heart that you'll never forget. Folks, in the comment section, what the hell is Joe Biden trying to say?
Let me close with this. After I signed the PACT Act into law.
Did anybody get that? Did anybody get that? Again, the audience members only hear this once. Again, it's the closer. The most important part of the speech. It wraps it all up with a nice little bow on top. It's supposed to have an impact. You got to feel the energy from Joe here, folks. What the hell is Joe Biden trying to say?
Let me close with this. After I signed the PACT Act into law. Let me close.
But don't worry, you guys. He's a workhorse. The White House can't keep up with him. He's sharp. He's mentally fit to hold office. He exercises 4 hours a day. That's what we heard. That he's a mentor to all these people. He pushes them, you guys. He makes them better. Joe Biden is a chronic liar. That's all he does is lie. Just the other day, he goes, I drove 18-wheelers. No, you didn't, Joe. I worked in the coal mines of Scranton, Pennsylvania. No, you didn't. Not whatsoever. No, sirree. I sat there and worked for the Girl Scouts and sold Thin Mints outside the grocery store. No, Joe, you didn't. He just makes stuff up like outlandish things. I was an activist for black people and I marched on the streets with Dr. King. No, you didn't, Joe. I don't know where he gets these thoughts from, but he sits there and lies. Like there's somebody, Trump made the joke, right? That Joe Biden rolls out in front of a bunch of pilots and goes, I drove a Boeing 747 MAX. No, you didn't, Joe. You can't fly anything. So he sits there and spews nothing but lies, which leads us into this ad right here. This is truthfully evil. When Democrats start getting their asses kicked, anytime, this is where they resort to calling conservatives, Republicans, whoever's the front runner of the party, a racist, a Nazi, a bigot, a sexist, a homophobe, a misogynist, whatever it is, right? This is what they do with the name calling because they're losing. And they're losing the black vote. So they now need to resort to calling all of us, including Trump himself, a Nazi, a racist, so that the black people would go back to the Democrat Party. But nobody's foolish enough to see through this guy's lies. This guy does nothing but lie here. This is a grotesque ad, falsely accusing Trump of being a Nazi. Here we go.
A unified Reich? That's Hitler's language. That's not America's. He cares about holding on to power. I care about you.
You know the balls in this guy to sit there and call Donald Trump basically a Nazi when Donald Trump has employed every ethnicity out there, has employed more people than Joe Biden ever has, like tenfold, maybe even 100-fold. And then the dude has the balls to sit there and say Donald Trump cares about holding on to power. Really? Joe, you've been in office your entire life, dude. What the hell are you talking about? You were a senator for decades. Then you were vice president for almost a decade. And God forbid that you might be the president for another 4 years, which is close to another decade. God forbid something like that takes place because we can't sit there and last another 4 years with you in office. But what a remarkable thing. Am I right? That this dude says that Donald Trump cares about holding on to power, even though this guy's almost 100, can't think clearly, sits there and doo-doos his diaper, can't read from a teleprompter, chaos going on all around the world because this guy's in office, and he's running again when everybody thinks that he shouldn't, even his own party, which we'll get to in one moment. Nobody wants Joe Biden to run again. Nobody, not even the media, wants Joe Biden to run again. Talk about holding on to power. And then he has the cojones. He has the cojones to sit there and says, I care about all of you. No, you don't, Joe. It's for a guy that's removing Donald Trump's tax cuts and is about to fuck over everybody. Really? You're going to sit there and you care about me? When you sit there and tell people to go buy electric vehicles because they can't afford gas, let that one sink in. But I sat there and I reduced the cost of a washer machine. No, you didn't even do that. He does nothing but lie. He doesn't care about anybody. Your gas prices is up. Energy prices are up. Car prices are up. Grocery bill prices are up. You're getting reamed left and right. And you want to know who he does care about? This message must be for illegal immigrants, because that's truthfully who he cares about. He gives the Iranian $10 billion. He gives Hamas money. He sits there and gives the Houthis money. He sits there and gives the Taliban $40 million every 2 weeks. That's who he truthfully cares about. He takes care of illegal immigrants better than he takes care of anybody else, including American citizens and our veterans. This dude is a freaking chronic liar. And we know it's a lie because somebody already looked it up. So they're calling it the Unified Right hoax. Again, this is going viral on Twitter. Same kind of Russia hoax, where basically the FBI, the deep state, and the Democrat Party paid off an informant to sit there and lie about Donald Trump working and colluding with the Russians, which is totally bogus. So Biden just posted this reaction ad that we just saw, falsely accusing Donald Trump of echoing Hitler. The truth, someone made the ad using a template online with news headlines. Some dude in his basement hopped on Photoshop and just made it up. And the Democrats are going, holy shit, we gotta roll with this. For literally 2 seconds, a random World War I headline was left in a background frame, and they sat there and promulgated it. And I love the reaction from a lot of people here, from Eagleman, putting a side-by-side of Nazis and Democrats. Socialism, no guns, censorship, media mind control, abortion, hate Jews and whites, worship the government. Not wrong whatsoever. You got Nick Shorter here saying if Biden didn't run on lies, there would literally be no campaign. Correct. There is no campaign. He has nothing to run on other than, hey, I'm going to remove the fossil fuel industry again. That's worked out really well, Joe. He can't run on that because gas prices are through the roof and everybody's pissed off about it. You also have this person here, completely right. Biden has nothing but hoaxes. Correct. Remember the speech where he just yelled at all of us with the military in the background and the red freaking background as well? He just sat there and screamed for hours on end. But don't worry, you guys. This guy has it all together, right? Joe Biden is a workhorse. Joe Biden sits there and does nothing but work. Even that's a lie, right? I know I'm being satirical. Joe Biden's taken more vacation than any sitting president in American history. The guy sucks. The Democrat Party's losing their ish over it. So much so that rumors are swirling that Joe Biden's going to be out and that Kamala Harris is in. Oh, it's not from me, folks. I mean, if you read here, the New York Times, the Washington Post, like their lead people like Ezra Klein and David Ignatius are trying to sit there and push Joe Biden out. Joe Biden wants to hold on to power and his own party wants to get rid of him. The problem is there's only a couple options. One, Kamala Harris, which her poll ratings, they suck. Net 11% disapproving on average today, are slightly better than her boss. Net 17% disapproving. Folks, both of them are extremely disliked by the American people. And so rumor is it's either going to be Kamala Harris if Joe Biden loses the first debate. And if it's not Kamala Harris, the Democrat Party is strongly looking into Kennedy. Now, there was rumors a while ago that it was going to be Gavin Newsom, but Gavin Newsom don't have his head on straight. I don't think anybody really likes him either. Again, rumor is that they're going to sit there and chauffeur out somebody else after this first debate, maybe the second one, a last-minute person. We will see and keep you up to date on what's going on with all of that. And in our next story of the day, we got Bill Maher, who I'm not a fan of. I don't really hate the guy either. He says some things I agree with, and he says some things I disagree with. Well, he was on The View here and actually said some pretty good things on The View, one of which he's talking to Joy Behar. We got a lot of clips here, folks, so get prepared. And she talks about censoring her criticism of Joe Biden, and here's his response.
So, but I'm nervous about saying anything against Biden because I feel, not that I have so much power, and you have some more than I do, obviously. But
I don't know about that.
Are you afraid that you might, influence people who are on the fence?
I think you lose all credibility. I do. I mean, my bond with my audience has always been I don't pull a punch.
Yeah.
My bond with my audience is you're not going to like everything I say, but I'm saying what I really think is true.
And correct. Saying things that you think is true, not trying to manipulate your audience. There's always going to be a bias there, right? I mean, we're biased here on the show. I mean, we're open about it, right? We're conservatives, we're Republicans, and independents. Like, I'm going to lead towards Donald Trump. I'm not going to bash on Republicans as much as I bash on the Democrat Party. But you still shouldn't censor yourself and your thoughts because of some sway that you may have. And that was kind of the problem that we saw, where the media, the last election, suppressed and censored themselves regarding the Hunter Biden laptop. They said it was Russian misinformation. It was Russian disinformation. All these Republicans and conservatives are lying. They're in collusion with the Russians. All this nonsense when it turned out to be true. It really is remarkable, folks, that how often we are right and we're labeled as, conspiracy theorists, right? These wackos, these psychos, which we're not. It always comes out to being true. Have you noticed that? What's also a remarkable thing here that was stated, and that I like that Bill Maher did, was he really squared up with Sonny Hostin regarding the term woke. And it's supposedly a word only for black people now, I guess. This was news to me. And he squares up with Sonny Hostin and talks about this word woke. Now, I don't agree with this first statement here of, well, I might not use the word woke correctly, and that virtually, if it's going to trigger somebody, we can use a different term. So I like what he's addressing here, and then we'll cover one more bit, and then we'll roll on to our next news headline.
The term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words migrate.
Why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left? But don't tell me the left
or maybe the super far right.
Well, he's talking about the left. Well, then
okay, but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
The far right is a bigger threat? I mean, you got to be off your rocker to say something like that. You got to be off your rocker to say the far right is a bigger threat than the Democrat Party and the progressive left. Look around. Look around.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a joke. But,
Too dark.
I was about to say, bro, you are off your rocker if you're about to spew some nonsense like that. We just got done hearing from Joe Biden calling Donald Trump virtually a Nazi. That was insane. I'm glad it was a joke. I was like, I had a heart attack. I was like, what?
Too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I would like to think so. It's pretty wild. And so that rolled in, and this clip is actually long. This rolled into Mar calling out anti-Semitic liberals like Hostin who support Hamas's attack on Jews. And he does a fabulous job here of showing these women and the women that watch the show that stop supporting these Hamas individuals, that there's no rights for you there. Everything he says here is spot on. Here we go.
It's astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your values. I mean, women have no, this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place. And a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. I mean, there is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from sexual harassment.
The LGBTQ community as well.
Yes.
That too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world, where women are second-class citizens, at best.
Are you at all concerned about the innocent civilians that have been collectively punished and murdered, largely children and women? And are you at all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Well, that's ridiculous, but it's a war.
Why?
It's a war. Because it's a war, and they were attacked, and they're defending themselves. Now, this is a war. Do you think Hamas needs to be destroyed? This is the question.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
So how can we do that with a ceasefire?
All right. So Hamas needs to be destroyed because they are a terrorist organization who say openly that they want to commit genocide on the Jewish people, on the state of Israel. That's what from the river to the sea means, okay? And they say it very openly. They said, we did this attack. They've attacked Israel 5 times. They've started 5 wars since they were...
Look, folks, he's correct. And it's just remarkable how you have all these feminists going, oh, America's so oppressive. They hate women, the patriarchy. Look around the world. We live in the greatest country that's ever existed. And you always have these progressive left, these libtards taking to the streets, sometimes burning our cities down, complaining about some nameless, faceless, shadowy figure out there oppressing people. Which, yeah, there are some people like that, but it's not systematic. It's not institutionalized in the way that you see across the world. So rather than bitching and complaining about our country, why don't you go over and move to other countries and try to change them? Because that is what should be changed, not what's going on here necessarily. But I think y'all know what I mean there. Kudos to Bill Maher for stepping up to the plate and maybe speaking some truth to the people of the View, because Lord knows they need it. Well, I'm always keeping you up to date on illegal immigration, the presidential election, stuff like that. Well, illegal immigrants are now rushing to cross the U.S. southern border ahead of the November presidential election to take advantage of President Joe Biden's policies while fearing another term of Donald Trump in the White House. Well, look, that might not work because Trump wants to deport 20 million illegal immigrants, and now he has Marco Rubio, supposedly, allegedly, his next VP, coming out and saying, look, I'm for this as well, even though he wasn't for it in 2016. He's for deporting 20 to 25 million illegal immigrants. Folks, that would be the biggest movement of people in a long time. So after illegally crossing the Arizona border last week, 2 migrants from Colombia told the New York Post reporter that they were concerned about the outcome of the upcoming 2024 presidential election. Check this out. We think with the elections, it will be harder. Of course it would be. We don't want Trump. Of course you don't. God, if you gave these people amnesty, I wonder who they would vote for, huh? It's always interesting that they always vote Democrat. Really weird. Oh, that's because Democrats give them the handouts. Democrats are giving them $84,000 a year. Democrats are giving them housing. Democrats are giving them free tuition, free medical care, free shelter, free food, free everything. Of course they want to vote for them, for, I guess, the Democrats and Joe Biden rather than Donald Trump. So that's what's going on with the southern border. You guys, we're seeing millions pour across. Folks, when I say millions, over 10 million people since Joe Biden's been in office. And we still have like 6 months to go. Wild stuff taking place. Well, speaking of immigration, the DOJ files lawsuit against Oklahoma challenging state immigration law. Remember, though, Joe Biden cares about you, you guys. You just saw that in his own ad. Joe Biden cares about you. You saw it in this ad right here where he sat there and called Donald Trump a Nazi. Folks, they will say that they want to figure out this immigration issue. No, they don't. They could have done it on day one. Absolutely not. So they will tell you one thing. Again, they're all chronic liars there in the White House. Well, we want to figure out this issue. We understand what's going on. We get your kitchen table issues. We're going to solve it. No, you're not. And if you wanted to solve it, why are you suing states like Oklahoma, Arizona, and Texas, as well as Florida, for trying to stop this illegal immigration because they sit there, can't handle it on a state level, and you won't reimburse them for the damages and things that's happening in their localities as well as their state. So the DOJ now, Biden's DOJ, filed a suit against Oklahoma challenging a state law which imposes criminal penalties on illegal immigrants. The DOJ argued that enforcing immigration laws is a federal matter, and Oklahoma cannot disregard the U.S. Constitution and settled Supreme Court precedent. At what point, though, as a union of states, do we sit there and go, you know what? If you're not willing to carry out and execute the federal law, at what point do we have to take it upon ourselves as the states that are unified in this country to stop this from happening? So Big contradiction here, because if the federal government and the dude that's running the executive branch doesn't actually execute the laws that are on the books, what do you do as a state itself? And so that's the dilemma that we're seeing from Arizona, Texas, Florida, hell, all these other states. Even though Abbott and DeSantis are busting migrants into these other states, they're all feeling the pain of it. So I'll keep you up to date on that. I just wanted to present to you that there is a lawsuit being filed by the Biden DOJ. I want to be specific. It's not just the DOJ. It's the Biden DOJ on the state of Oklahoma. Now, this was the big news that dropped yesterday. This is a bombshell, and this is fucking wild, man. I don't mean to cuss you guys, but really, this is wild. And we got some video here for y'all in just a second. Y'all heard about this. You had to hear about it. Unsealed court filing reveals the FBI authorized to use deadly force during 2022 Mar-A-Lago raid. Are you kidding me? You have here, according to a newly unsealed court filing, the FBI was authorized to use deadly force while raiding former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home in 2022 regarding his alleged possession of classified documents retained after leaving office in 2020. My question is, where was the use of deadly force with Joe Biden? There's more evidence out there that Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is more of a criminal than any of the Trump family is. So that's really weird. Julie Kelly said tons of new unsealed filings on classified docs here, and we'll pull that up for all of you. We have it right here. Law enforcement officials and officers of the Department of Justice may use deadly force when necessary. What an insane thing that is. The left stops at nothing, yet Trump still stands. Correct. They did this to Trump. They've already done it to us via January 6th. I'm just wondering what we're all waiting on. The Biden-Garland fascists need to be held responsible. Joe Biden is a dictator, all the while Joe Biden's calling Donald Trump a Nazi. However, the FBI agents were prohibited from engaging in deadly force in the event of a fleeing suspect. If feasible, and if to do so would not increase the danger of the officer or others, a verbal warning to submit to authority of the officer shall be given prior to the use of deadly force. So it's all written out here. Truly wild stuff, which pissed a lot of people off. The fact that it's even got put forth. And you got Merrick Garland here just going, oh, yep, it was me that authorized this. So here we go. Here's Merrick Garland, corrupt attorney general for Joe Biden. Here we go.
There are, however, certain points I want you to know. First, I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
Oh, Charlotte doesn't take such a decision lightly. Yeah, right. Get out of here, dude. Unbelievable. They raided Mar-a-Lago so hard for these classified documents that they went through Melania Trump's underwear drawer, folks. These people are disgusting. Okay, the Department of Justice that's been overtaken by the Democrat Party and these wild fascist people, and I don't just use that term lightly. Not all of them are, but the DOJ has gone full corrupt, you guys. Look what they're doing to Donald Trump. If they could do that to that guy, a former president, a billionaire, if they could do it to Donald Trump and try to cripple him, what are they willing to do to you, just an average Joe like you and I? We don't have the funds like Donald Trump does. We don't have lawyers on retainer. We don't have money. I mean, maybe some of you do. I sure in hell don't. There's nothing stopping the government from coming for all of you. And the Democrat Party will do so. Look what they're doing to Donald Trump. It speaks volumes. It speaks volumes and disgusting stuff from the DOJ to authorize something like that. Truly, truly wild. Well, other things that are truly wild. We have a blue city taking down traffic lights at busy intersection after homeless stole copper wire. Now, we've talked about this in the state of California, Oakland, a blue city in California, where they're stealing not just the copper wire, but they're actually stealing electricity from the light poles. And that's how they're running everything in these encampments. And so basically they have what's called a luxury tent, which is like an 8-10 room tent. They'll have gaming chairs, laptops, computers, multiple plasma TVs, cable. They'll have, you might be thinking, Brad, I thought you were talking about tents. Yes, I am talking about tents. They have security cameras set up. They have Ring doorbells. They have the whole shebang on the side of the street, you guys. Don't stop thinking of like a tent like camping. Think of like They take those like the camping tents and convert it into like a multi-room encampment with like wooden walls. Some of them have doors. They have actual doors that you can open and close and ring a doorbell on the side of the street. It's truly wild. And so they're taking electricity out that we're paying for and stealing it. So Oakland, a blue city in California, took down a traffic light at a busy intersection after thieves kept swiping copper wire, and residents say nearly homeless encampment is to blame. City workers replaced the traffic lights with four-way stop signs at the intersection located at East 12th Street and 16th Avenue. Wasn't that just lovely? So not only was your safety in jeopardy because of these homeless people, that some of them are off their rocker, right? You're talking about alcoholics, addicts, people with mental problems that need help, going and assaulting citizens just walking around the street. Now you have to worry about not getting in a car accident because the people that have these homeless encampments that shouldn't be there in the first place, that Gavin Newsom's allowing to flourish, and in some cases actually paying them to be homeless, which we've seen. If you really want to fix the stop sign, I think you really have to clean up the homeless encampment. God, no, gee, who could have thought? I mean, some of these people are so stupid, you guys. And I really do mean that. It's remarkable that somehow they get elected in the office, but I guess we shouldn't be as surprised because it's Democrats voting in more Democrats in the hopes that that Democrat that just voted in, that aligns with their ideology, would change some sort of Democrat behavior and policy, even though Democrats are the ones that implemented that behavior and that policy. It is the definition of insanity, is it not? Well, I told you I'd keep you up to date on Trump's case that we covered in yesterday's episode. If you did not catch yesterday's episode, I highly recommend you check it out. We cover the hush money trial, which it isn't, and how Michael Cohen admitted to lying and stealing from Donald Trump. Well, the defense team in Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York City rested their case on Tuesday without calling the former president to the stand, which tells you everything you need to know, you guys. Case closed. I really do think Donald Trump's going to win here. I really do. If he doesn't win based on what's been going on, the fact that the star witness admitted that he was willing to lie under oath to get revenge on Donald Trump, the fact that he was willing to admit on the stand that he stole $30,000 from Donald Trump, the guy that was the front runner to this whole hush money scheme, lied about everything. If Mr. 45 gets thrown in jail because of this, you guys, some of you already lost faith in the justice system. Lose all faith completely. At this point in this country, Lady Liberty as well as Lady Justice does not have that blindfold on anymore. Oh, no. It's only going to go after Republicans. I hope if Donald Trump gets elected that he goes after freaking everybody. I hope he opens up investigation galore. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Ilhan Omar, all of them. AOC, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Jill Biden. Just open up the floodgates. Get somebody in there. Look, they opened up the doorway. That's their fault. They opened this shit up. We told them don't do it. Now you just open the doorway for everybody else forever to have lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. So I told you I'd keep you up to date. I think Trump is going to win. If you didn't catch yesterday's episode, check it out. And I do have an announcement, folks. I'm always asking for help and support. Not money-wise, folks. If you want to give your hard-earned money, please feel free. You could do so by joining our membership, 99 cents a month. But the big message I want to get out there is try to watch our videos all the way through if you can. I say it at the end of the show because that's mostly where our viewers are, the ones that actually, I don't want to say care about the show, but are into it. They get enjoyment out of it. If you watch all the way through, like you don't skip or you don't leave, it really helps our analytics. YouTube tracks all your viewership individually. And what it does is aggregates your data and combines it and comes up with an algorithm saying, hey, you know what? People are really enjoying this video. They're watching all the way through. If there's a 30-minute video and they're watching 25 out of 30 minutes, they must really enjoy it. Holy crap, they're hitting that like button and they're commenting, meaning that they're seeing engagement. It shows that the audience member is engaging with the channel, and it's going to push them to force our videos out there to new viewers so that they can find us and ultimately hopefully subscribe, and we can grow the channel that way. So more than giving your hard-earned money, I ask that you watch all the way through. Check out my older videos and just watch it. Just put it on mute. I'm not even saying you got to listen to me. Just throw the bad boy on mute. Leave it running on your TV, your cell phone, iPad, whatever it is. And that helps tremendously support the show. Would really appreciate your support on that end. You are true American patriots. I know you guys care. You always support me. You always got my six, and I greatly appreciate that. We do have a website, baldbrad.com. We got merchandise. We got hoodies. We got shirts. We got mugs. We got a book, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Check it out. Great book. A lot of people are enjoying it. I don't know what I'm going to write next. I think I'm going to start my next book this summer. We will see. I got an idea, and it's It's kind of fun. I think you guys might enjoy it. So I'll keep you updated on that end. With that being said, folks, I think we're done. I think I'll see you next time here on the Will Brad Show.